Hey YouTube, what's up? I'd like to make a few comments about the recent Bill O'Reilly scandal that's been happening in the news. Well, a bunch of people have been coming out and saying like, "Oh, yay, we got Bill O'Reilly fired, blah blah. It was our effort. It was, all of us women coming together and bitching that blah blah blah, and this is what got him fired. We won, we did it." It's like, okay, no, it actually has very little to do with you going out and bitching and complaining. The reason they fired him is because like more than 50 sponsors pulled out. If those 50 sponsors had stayed in and it kept sponsoring, do you think they would have fired Bill O'Reilly? Do you think they would have? You know, I think they would have kept him, right? These people, all they care about is money. And I see a bunch of people on the right coming out and being like, "Oh, Bill O'Reilly, this, and that." This guy's a piece of shit too. Let's be real. And this is a good thing that him, whether he's a part of the left wing media or the right wing media, the more these people fall, the better it is for us. And we want this to happen. But it just kind of made me also laugh to see all these liberals kind of like complaining and bitching and being like, "Oh, we care about sexual harassment, blah, blah, blah." It's like, no, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't praise Bill Clinton. You wouldn't keep trying to give people like Anthony Weiner a chance. But you do. So you care very little about this. You only care about it when it's somebody that isn't a part of your political agenda or isn't a part of your political views is harassing women. So spare me the bullshit about you caring, because you clearly don't. But this all has to do with money. It has very little to do with sexual harassment. And he probably did sexually harass those people. Like, let's be clear here too. There is a lot of sexual harassment that goes on in these jobs. And I'm not necessarily for having them getting sued and creating all these crazy laws and shit like that, but we should admit that it at least happens, right? And he is probably one of those people who did it, because he is a piece of shit. Like, let's be real, Bill O'Reilly is not a great guy. Like, he did push for the war in Iraq. He did push for a lot of stupid shit, and he did like he's against the war on drugs, or he's against drugs, not the war on drugs. And just a lot of he's a partisan, right? Yes, I agree with him on some issues, but when it comes to just a lot of things, when it comes to war, when it comes to religion, when it comes to drugs, no, this guy's a fucking idiot, and he's a shill. And it's not a bad thing that he's gone, but you know it's just interesting the way he was finally gotten rid of, right? Like, if people from the left can do all these things and are still held up in high regards or still able to get jobs, it really goes to show you who's running the culture at the moment, or who has the majority of the control. And it is a majority the left wing people. So the same thing could happen to somebody on a left wing media station, and he may be fired too, and he may go through a lot of crap, but there's not going to be as much of this hate going on. And a bunch of people on the left would be like, "Oh, well, people make mistakes and this and that." It's like, nobody's saying that to Bill O'Reilly. Like, even people on the right, they're like, "Fuck this guy, yeah, get rid of him." But it's also not a big deal. Like, Tucker Carlson will replace his position anyways, and in my opinion, he's better and he's more honest. But another thing we also should consider is these people are still corporate media. Like, they only care about money, right? That's the reason he got fired, was just because of money. It's the bottom line. They don't care about you, right? They don't care about your rights. And when you see media stations coming out like adamantly opposed to certain things, and trying to appear like they care of some types, it's like, no, they don't. Like, look at the whole Pepsi Coke thing. You think like they're just trying to appeal to you because they think it's what sells. If they think this type of garbage, like the protest shit that they're trying to sell for Pepsi and whatnot, like when they come out and say like, "Oh, we believe in equal pay, blah blah blah," It's like, no, you don't. Like, if you did, if you cared about paying people equally, you would stop sending jobs overseas, right? You would keep the jobs in the country because you care about, equal wages. But no, you don't. You send them overseas where they can be built cheaply. So, let's align these people's actions with their words, and we will see that their actions never correlate with their words. And like, let's just remember this. And also, I just want to also remember, or let the people on the left know that yes, you had nothing to do with Bill O'Reilly being fired. Well, I guess inadvertently, I guess you can kind of say that because uh, the culture at the time, these media stations or these sponsors would deem this as something very negative. So of course they're going to pull out of him because they know culturally they're going to get a lot of flack if they continue to sponsor him. So yes, in one way, I guess you could say they had an impact, but it really comes down to these companies. If they want to keep supporting a certain narrative, if they want to keep supporting certain things, then they will continue to be supported, and it comes down to the bottom line. So instead of being all happy about the things you think you've done, just remember that it's just about the money. But if you like my content, subscribe and have a great day. See you later.